Hello, everybody. Today is Monday, February 6th. I hope you all had a good weekend. For this week, in our 3353 Visual Communications course, we'll be going over color. So if we look at our book, chapter 6 is the chapter that covers color the most. So you'll make sure you want to take a look at that. Our online lecture topic is color, how it works, and how we will use it in design. Our lab topic is the impacts of color. The assignment we have this week is a color activity where you're going to be creating different designs, and then you're going to be applying a color harmony to it. So you'll create a design, apply a color harmony to it, make a new design, color a different color harmony, and so forth. So make sure you go watch that video that I'll do next over our assignment for color. Go watch that, and I'll give you all the details, show you examples, and talk all about how that works and how you'll do it. LinkedIn. The goal for everybody now is to have their profiles created. They don't necessarily have to be complete in a sense that you're ready for me to look at it and give it a grade, because we have plenty of time till that. Like I said, won't be till April when I will be actually looking at your profiles. But the goal is for you to be in our course group, and your profile in there kind of ready to go a little bit, because next week we will be starting our discussion questions, so you need to be in the group. So if we look at LinkedIn, we've got about 84, 85 of y'all, so we're close. We've got about 72 of y'all now, so we've got most of y'all in here, but there's still a few of y'all that are kind of haven't joined the group. So if you haven't, make sure you join it. In our course content, right here where course content is, if you come down to LinkedIn, the third option, here is that link to the group. Here's example pictures of kind of what your profile could look like. Some examples of some good profiles of what we are kind of looking for as a industry professional. This is kind of what you want to show. And then here's kind of how I will be looking at your LinkedIn. Just to remind y'all, this is what I'll be looking at, as well as those discussion questions that we'll be doing starting next week. So make sure that you join this group. I'll add you in. I'll also give you all the information here as well. But that's what we're doing for LinkedIn. So make sure that you are ready to go for that. This week we only have one quiz. So we have the quiz over color. So make sure you get that completed. And remember that due date is Sunday, February 12th. So that's what we have for this week. Only one assignment. You have one quiz. So make sure you're working on that. Make sure you're trying to get all your assignments finished each week. Like I said, in Blackboard, there is a due date for that assignment, but it doesn't mean you have to have it done by then. I have put that in there to remind you. I've said this many times, but that date for the assignments is to try to keep you on track. So your goal is every week you should be getting that assignment finished. So I put that date in there just to try to help you understand, hey, if you should get this done, that way next week you can start on this assignment. If you still have all these assignments to do and we're on week 5, you're behind, right? If you didn't finish 3 and 4 and we're in week 5, or we're doing assignment 5 now this week, you're a little behind because you still have to work on these and now work on this. So the goal is to get them all done each week, and then go ahead and turn them in on Blackboard when you are done. If you turn it in and then this week you're hey, I fixed my typography or I redid something, kind of what I did better and I already turned it in, you can resubmit. That's fine. Like I said, I'm not going to look at those submissions. That's just a good place to turn it in so you have a backup copy of your work. Like I've said, when I said at the beginning of the year, every semester I'll have at least 1 or 2 students who are hey, I lost all my work. Either the files got corrupted or my laptop crashed or something happened and I lost my hard drive. Everything's gone. If you're turning each assignment in every week, I can go back and pull those for you so you don't have to go on this last week and say, oh my gosh, I'm not ready to turn this portfolio in. I got to redo everything in a week. Turn them in every time you get done. Act like it's due that date. That way, if something happens and you lose your work, we still have it in Blackboard. I can go pull those for you. I can send them to you and you'll have all your work still. So I highly recommend you turn it in when you're done. If you working on it and then you keep working on your collage or you look back, you're hey, I want to redo it now, you can redo it and submit it again. That doesn't matter. I don't care. You could submit it 10 times. It doesn't matter to me. Submit what you have that's done when you get it done. That way you have a backup in Blackboard. And then at the end of the semester, we'll combine all of these assignments into that final portfolio. You'll be turning in that portfolio, and that is your grade for all the assignments. I won't be grading each one individually. I will be grading each of them when you turn in your final portfolio, and those grades together will create that final portfolio grade. So, just a reminder, most of y'all should know that because I've talked about it before, but I wanted to remind those who maybe didn't hear that or needed to hear it again. That's what the expectation for the assignments. Now the quizzes, they're due every Sunday. After that Sunday's over, I can't open them back up. Once Sunday ends, those questions open up so that you can see the answers. So if you didn't turn it in, then the answers are out there and available. So I don't open them back up after that. So that's what we have for this week. Next week we'll have a week with a discussion post, and then that midterm exam, which is over all the quizzes 1 through 6, will be that week of February 20th. So we're 2 weeks away from the midterm. But don't freak out. It's just all these quizzes combined together, and it randomly pulls questions from each of them to create that midterm exam. So you can always go back and look at your quizzes. Now, if you didn't do a quiz, then, well, you can't go back and look at that, and you'll just have to study like you would be studying for this quiz in the first place. You'll only be able to see the questions if you actually did the quiz. If you didn't, you won't be able to, and there's nothing I can do for that. So, just be aware, we got the midterm coming up in 2 weeks, but it's just over quizzes 1 through 6, so make sure you get those finished. You'll have 48 hours for that, but we'll talk about it again next week, and then I'll also put out a reminder that week of February 20th that the midterm is open. So we've got a couple weeks. Just make sure you're getting your quizzes done, and you're getting those done on time. So I hope you all have a good week. If you have any questions, make sure you email me here, and I will talk to you next week. Thanks. Bye.